In the fall of 2017, Lindsay Shepherd, a 22-year-old graduate student at Wilfrid Laurier University in Ontario, Canada, was tasked with leading tutorials for a first-year communications course. As a teaching assistant, she was eager to create an engaging and thought-provoking environment for her students, hoping to encourage them to think critically about the world around them. For a lesson on the evolution of language and grammar, Shepherd decided to show her class a 5-minute TV Ontario clip. The video featured a heated debate between several panelists, including the now well-known professor Jordan Peterson, discussing the use of gender-neutral pronouns, a topic that was rapidly gaining attention in Canadian society and beyond. Shepherd presented the video in a neutral academic manner, making it clear that her intention was not to promote any particular viewpoint. Instead, she encouraged her students to analyze the arguments presented and to consider the issue from multiple perspectives, fostering an open and respectful classroom discussion. She took care to emphasize that she was not endorsing Peterson's views or those of any other panelist. Her goal was to model open debate and critical inquiry, values that are considered fundamental to the university experience and academic freedom. The class unfolded as she had hoped, with students actively participating, raising thoughtful questions, and engaging in a lively discussion about language, identity, and the power of words. For Shepherd, it seemed like a successful and ordinary tutorial. But what Lindsay Shepherd didn't realize was that this seemingly routine classroom exercise would soon become the catalyst for a national debate. The discussion she facilitated would ignite a firestorm about academic freedom, free speech, and the boundaries of acceptable discourse in Canadian universities. Unbeknownst to her, a formal complaint had already been filed with the university administration, setting in motion a chain of events that would thrust Shepherd and the issue of free expression on campus into the national spotlight. Several days after the classroom incident, Shepherd received an unexpected summons. She was called to a private meeting with her supervisor, a senior professor she respected, and another faculty member whose presence made her uneasy. Also present was the university's gendered violence prevention manager, a figure whose title alone suggested the seriousness of the situation. Sensing that this was more than a routine check-in, Shepherd discreetly activated her phone's recorder, determined to document whatever unfolded behind those closed doors. The atmosphere was tense from the start. The officials confronted her, accusing Shepherd of creating a toxic and unsafe environment for students by showing the Jordan Peterson video clip without explicitly denouncing his controversial views. They went so far as to compare her neutrality to playing a Hitler speech in class, a shocking and deeply unsettling analogy. The panel insisted that by not condemning Peterson, Shepherd had targeted transgender students and violated the university's policies on inclusivity and respect. Shepherd tried to explain that her only intention was to encourage open debate and critical thinking, not to endorse any particular viewpoint or make anyone feel unsafe. She emphasized the importance of academic freedom and the value of hearing multiple perspectives, but her explanations were dismissed. Instead, she was formally censured, ordered to submit all future lesson plans for administrative approval, and sternly warned that her conduct would be closely monitored from now on. The ordeal left Shepherd shaken and in tears. Alone in the hallway afterward, she felt overwhelmed by a sense of injustice and feared for her academic future, wondering if her career might be derailed before it had even begun. All of this, simply for encouraging her students to engage in open discussion and think critically in a university classroom, a place where ideas are meant to be challenged, not silenced. Feeling wronged, Shepherd released her secret recording to journalists. The story broke in the National Post, with the public hearing the tense exchange and the Hitler comparison for themselves. Outrage was immediate. Media, academics, and the public rallied to Shepherd's defense, calling her a symbol of free speech under threat. The incident went viral, sparking debate about safe spaces, censorship, and the purpose of universities. Laurier became shorthand for the campus free speech crisis. Shepherd, once unknown, was now a national figure. The university faced a public relations disaster. The world was listening. Under intense scrutiny, Wilfrid Laurier's president issued a public apology to Shepherd, admitting the meeting was mishandled. Professor Rambukkana also apologized, acknowledging his mistakes and the inappropriate Hitler comparison. An independent investigation exonerated Shepherd, finding she'd broken no policies. Shockingly, there had been no formal student complaint, just informal concerns. The report revealed the university had escalated the issue without proper cause. Laurier promised to review its procedures, but for Shepherd and many observers, the damage was done. The university's reputation as a place of open learning was deeply shaken. Despite apologies, Shepherd felt her academic career was ruined. In 2018, she sued the university and those involved for $3.6 million, alleging harassment and negligence. The legal battle dragged on for 5 years, keeping the controversy alive. In 2023, the case settled out of court for an undisclosed sum. Shepherd's fears were realized when a new teaching job offer was rescinded due to her notoriety. She pivoted, becoming a public commentator and free speech advocate. Shepherd wrote a book and worked with organizations defending academic freedom. She transformed from student to public intellectual, ensuring her voice remained part of the debate. Today, the Lindsay Shepherd case stands as a pivotal moment in ongoing debates about free speech and academic freedom on university campuses. It's not just a story from the past, but a living example that continues to shape how we think about the boundaries of discussion in higher education. The case is frequently cited in classrooms, faculty meetings, and even in policy discussions, serving as a reference point for what can happen when academic values collide. It highlights the ongoing tension between the desire to protect students from harm and the need to foster open inquiry and robust debate. Universities are often caught in the middle, trying to create safe spaces while also encouraging the free exchange of ideas, even when those ideas are controversial or unpopular. The incident raised important questions about due process, privacy, and what counts as legitimate academic discourse. It forced institutions to reconsider how they handle complaints, the rights of both students and instructors, and the procedures for investigating sensitive issues. For many, Shepherd became a symbol of resistance to what they saw as growing ideological conformity on campus. Her experience inspired students and faculty who felt their voices were being silenced, and sparked protests and passionate discussions across the country. Critics, however, argue that the case is far more complex than it first appears. They point to the real impact that controversial speech can have on marginalized groups, and stress the importance of considering the broader social context in which these debates take place. The legacy of the Shepherd case endures. Universities across the country still grapple with how to balance inclusivity and open debate, often revisiting their policies and training in response to ongoing challenges. The conversation is far from over. Shepherd's story serves as both a cautionary tale for administrators and a rallying cry for those who believe in the importance of free inquiry. It reminds us that the pursuit of knowledge is rarely simple, and that the values we hold dear must be constantly examined and defended. The questions first raised in that small classroom continue to echo through lecture halls and policy debates, challenging us all to reflect on what kind of academic community we want to build for the future.